Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Jennifer at Creative Art Spark, and I have a different setup tonight because I broke my camera stand. So forgive me, this is not the best setup, and I have yet to figure out how this thing is going to work. But a friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine, requested that I show her how I do the jelly prints and the little things that I had done in a short the other day. So I am going to show y'all what I did. I had seen somebody, and now I wish I knew who it was, but I saw somebody on Facebook do a reel, and they took paint and put down, and it's going to be hard to see. It's hard for me to see where my page ends and begins, and I don't want to get this on my dining room table, but it's liable to happen. I love my dining room table. I got it from my Uncle Pete many years ago when we first moved into our house. So now I've got my paint on my paper, and I'm gonna roll it out, and I'm not worrying about where it goes, nothing like that. And I didn't get enough paint. So we're gonna come along and we're gonna add some more. I do like the purple though. It's pretty. Purple is one of my favorite colors. All right, let's try spreading this out a little more. I'm gonna put my finger where the paper ends so that I kind of know where I'm going, so to speak. Since we don't really know what we're doing here, this is a test. All right, we're rolling that out. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to brayer off. And all that means is I'm rolling the extra paint off of my roller. Do not park your roller down like this. Park it with the roller up so it doesn't stick to the paper. Now, I am going to take a Queen Anne's lace. And Marcia, you're the one that I made the video for. You're going to laugh. I stopped on Clayton Mountain and got out of the car, and I was gonna get this Queen Anne's lace, and when I tried to get it, the whole thing came up out of the ground. So I real quick threw this huge Queen Anne's lace plant in the back of my car and left. it was really quite comical. Made me think of my mama. When we were little, she took us to Savannah and Tybee Island, and she saw some seagrass, and so she was going to get some seagrass, and unbeknownst to her, there was somebody in a house on near one of those sand dunes that was watching, and he hollers, "I saw that and I'm calling the cops." My mama threw that seagrass and us into the car, and she left just as quick as she could, just a flying, and she got down the road and threw the seagrass out. Okay, I've pulled that sheet off where I pressed the Queen Anne's lace into the paper, and now I'm going to pull up the Queen Anne's lace, and it left, as you can see, a sort of print, which is kind of pretty. So now I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to hope, because I don't know that there's that much paint left on here, but we're going to put this Queen Anne's lace back down, and we're going to take another sheet of paper, whoops, and put over it and press that into this paper. And I hope y'all can see this, because I am not used to this kind of setup at all, and I'm not using my camera, I'm using my phone. All right, now we're going to lift this up and we're going to see what we get. Well, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed in it. It's very delicate, but if you didn't know that you were looking at Queen Anne's lace, you probably wouldn't know that you were looking at Queen Anne's lace. So we're going to set these aside, and we're going to go now to our Gelli Plate. And what is a Gelli Plate? Look at this. It's floopy and floppy, and it's silicone, I guess is what it is. I got it from, got this one from Scrappy Shack. I think Scrappy Shack or Amazon, one or the other. What you do, well, you can take any kind of paint. You can use Sharpie markers. You can use just almost anything you want to use. And you put on your plate. And in our case, we're gonna spread it out. I'm gonna put paint in the four corners. I'm gonna try to put a little bit of purple. A little bit of purple, where did it go? In the center. And I'm gonna roll this out. And I'm going to use that same piece of Queen Anne's lace and see if we can pull what's called a jelly print. And we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to take my plate, I'm going to take my roller, excuse me, and I'm going to roll my paint out, kind of mix it up a little bit. I'm going to try to smooth it out. I cleaned my roller last night. I peeled great old big sheets of acrylic paint off of my roller last night. All right, we're going to roll this out. Clean that brayer off. I'm going to lift up, make sure we're not getting any on the table. Okay, now we're going to take our Queen Anne's lace and we're going to press it back into that. We're going to take a sheet of, this is 32-pound text weight paper. I like working with that. I use it for my journal pages. Use it for all kinds of different things. I really like it's not real heavy. It's nice to write on. It's smooth. It feels good, and it generally pulls really nice jelly prints. Okay, we're going to pull this up ever so gently, and we're going to remove our Queen Anne's lace, and we're going to smooth that back down. This is one way of making a jelly print, and sometimes it's a little tricky to get it back into the same spot. So what you can do is take washi tape and tape it down to your work surface so that you can then lift up. Now we're going to pull this print, and there is my Queen Anne's lace. Again, not as distinct as I would like for it to be. So this time we're going to take, I went out in between rains today and I picked a bunch of different kinds of weeds from beside my driveway. So we'll try some of these weeds that I got. Let's see. Like that. It's got some pretty little berries in it if they'll show up. And let's take, oh, there's some pretty purple flowers. Let's take that. Did I bring the scissors over here? I did. Good. Okay. I'll take that. All right, let's take some, let's take some dark blue. Now, there's still some pink on here, so it may show up when we pull our print. Okay. Actually, I can make it show up. Let's do this. No, let's go with the blue. Put blue there, put blue there. A little bit in the middle. Close the lid so I don't have an accident. A situation. That makes me giggle. My husband didn't want me taking the dog anywhere because he said I might have a situation. That was so funny. I have a Doberman, so he worries. All right, you can hear me rolling my brayer off, and it's not wanting to roll too good. But you know what? These make the best collage papers after they dry. Okay. Now, we're going to take some of these leaves. We're going to put some leaves there. We're going to put some leaves there. And we're going to put this flower there. And we're going to press that down. And we're going to get another sheet. And we're going to lay it. It's 2 sheets. Can I get it back in the same place? Maybe I can. Okay, not quite, but it'll do. We're going to smooth this out, and we're going to pick up all of the paint that's along the sides of these plants. And is that a spider? It is. Ooh, we can't have any spiders in here. Okay. Yep, there's no telling what I brought in the house with me when I brought all these weeds in. All right, we're gonna pick this up. Just like this. Now, we can use this again. We can use this to pick up more paint. So I'm gonna set it over there to dry. And I'm gonna lift up my leaves and my flowers ever so gently. Come on. And I'm gonna let it dry a minute. When it's dry to touch, I'm gonna put some pink on there. And this might actually make a pretty neat print. We can turn it over on the bottom and we can kind of look to see what we've got. Excuse me. Acrylic paint dries pretty quickly, so we shouldn't have to wait too long. It's not quite dry yet. Don't know if I can really see where I laid the leaves. This may turn out to be a mess. You never know what you're going to get. But that's part of the fun of it. If I had another plate out, we could do another plate and then take turns letting them dry. But I didn't think ahead that far because I had to go get a new camera stand. Boy, that upset me to no end. We have no internet here at the house for some reason tonight. So I thought, well, I'll just move everything in because my desk is a mess. My desk is terrible. I'll just move everything onto the dining room table and I'll film that video for Marcia. That's dry. Well, when I did that and I tried to tighten my phone onto my stand, we had mass chaos. So blessed wonder my phone didn't land in the floor. The bracket that was holding the phone in place broke. And of course, here I was, I'm trying to teach myself how to do Zoom calls. I was very upset with what I had done. I sat here and cried for a minute. It's been a rough day. Some days are just rough, you know? All right, let's take this sheet. Let this dry just a minute. It doesn't have to dry long. We're just gonna lay that on top like that. And we're gonna rub it with our hand. And at first, it feels real cold. But when you start feeling it warming up, it's kind of time to start pulling the paper up. And you can tell if it starts picking paint up, you know it's just about done. So we're gonna do just a little bit more. And we'll see what we get. Yep, that's pulling up. And you just carefully peel back your paper. All right, what did I get? I got a mess, but it's pretty. And what I can do, once this dries completely, I'll take one of my pens and I'll go around and trace all the flower parts. Can you tell what that is? You can't really tell what it is right now, but it's pretty. We'll take that. It's not that bad. All right, let's take these little berries And let's take some of these big leaves and let's roll out less paint. Maybe that's what my problem is. Maybe I'm getting too much paint. I have a really nice, there it is. Let's do this. I want to try this leaf right here. It's still wet. I found it on the porch when I went out to harvest my big clump of Queen Anne slays. It's kind of sticky wet. Okay, let's choose, let's go with red. Always shake your acrylic paints up. Always, always. All right, we're gonna, whoops. I guess I didn't go with less, did I? I went with a whole lot. And I kind of messed my roller up when I peeled all that stuff off of it last night. I knew that was a bad idea, and I did it anyway. All right, let's spray her off. And let's see if we can take a little more off here. Okay. Let's take our leaf. We're gonna put it with the back of the leaf down because that's where you're gonna get most of your texture. We're gonna lay it right like that. Probably not gonna be able to tell it's a leaf because this block is not big enough, but we'll have the veins in there. So maybe that will clue us in that it's a leaf. We're gonna hope so anyway. All right, we're gonna lay this on and we're gonna come in here and rub, dub. And see how we get along there. I'm probably out of screen. I can't tell. All right, we're gonna pull that up. See, we're not pulling much because the leaf, that might look pretty cool. Look at my leaf. I'm gonna lay that on something while that's drying. And I'm gonna brayer that. That looks neat. We're gonna hope that we get, oops, I just smeared it all to smithereens. Well, still looks kind of neat. All of this is experimentation. We're just experimenting and having fun. I probably didn't move fast enough to get a good print. My ink probably dried. Yep, I'd say that's what happened. But I've got enough good leaf, I can still pull another print if I want to. All right, now let's come back here. Let's see. Yep, we're, maybe another couple of minutes. What color do we want? We've got a red. Let's throw that pink back on it. Look what I did. I laid my brayer down with the brayer on the paper. As my daddy would say, do what I tell you to do, not as I do. Okay, let's put pink. And my paints are old. That may be one issue that we're having because my paints are very old. I got some money burning a hole in my pocket to go to Walmart and pick up more. You don't have to use expensive paints to do this. You can just use craft paints. That's what all of these are. They're that Apple Barrel Walmart brand craft paints. All right. Brayered off. Put my paper down and rub. And one thing you got to get over, if you're like me, is getting that paper centered. That's hard to do because you're working upside down. And so I've had to just let go of some of that, needing to have everything centered just so. Okay, let's Let's pull this and see what we get. Now that's cool. All right, that is cool. You get the hint of the leaf, and you get some of the veins in there. That's pretty neat. I like that. All right, what are we gonna do next? Let's do this blue flower again. We're gonna start with, might as well start with the deep blue. We'll do a deep blue and a light blue. We're gonna do 1, 2. See if we can get away with that. And just roll it on. Boy, I didn't number on my roller. Dadgummit. I actually liked this brayer. I'm not a good brayer. Although I do sound like a donkey. Yes, I know. My voice is terrible. I got real sick in 2016 and my voice never ever recovered. Where's that sheet? We were gonna do another pull. This one's dry. I'm gonna lay that on there like that. And we're going to press and press and press and press. And we're gonna lift up. And we're gonna do a little more pressing, just in case we can. We're not worried about this top sheet. All right. Gonna lift that up, and we're gonna let it dry. And I can see that it's still gonna be like a hint of flower, but maybe it'll be an interesting hint. So we're gonna just hold out just a minute and see. Yeah, that's not dry yet. The hard part is the waiting. The waiting, the waiting. Let's see here. What is this? This is more brayer sheet. I love the brayer sheets because, like I said, I use them in collages and I draw on them, and I just, in general, just have fun with them. And that's gonna stick. I didn't really want it to stick. So what we'll do, we'll lift up, take this one, put it over here, and we'll put another one on there. How long have I been recording? I can't tell. 22 minutes? Okay. Maybe I better do this pull and one more for tonight and call that it. All right, let's take the light blue, shake it up. This is like periwinkle, parrot blue, it says. The other one is bright blue. Well, that makes sense. It is pretty bright. All right. 1, 2, and 3. Little mates are we. Okay. There's something calming about doing this. I think it's because you're anticipating what you're going to get. I'm not sure, but whatever it is, it's fun. All right. Paper. Don't forget what you're doing, Jennifer. Okay. Lay it down. Smoosh it out. I want to do this kind of jelly print with the Queen Anne's lace and see if I get something nice. And pull. Oh yeah, that one's nicer. Looky there. There's another one that I can enhance with pen and ink. All right, last one. We're gonna go back with our purple. Just because I love purple so much. Whoops. I'd say that's a generous amount of purple. Probably because I had it standing up. Okay. Yeah. Brayer out. I want to show you this brayer paper. Look at that. Isn't that neat? And it gets lots of texture because you got so many different layers of paint on it. It turns out really neat. Okay, we're gonna take, let's see, this one and oopsie-doop. I hope I'm not getting paint all over my table. This one and this one. I'm gonna lay that one there, and I'm gonna lay that one there, like that, and we're gonna give it a leaf. Okay, paper. No, we're gonna come along with this one, and we're gonna smoosh, because this is just a texture paper anyway. We'll see what happens. All right, that one came up on its own, didn't it? Okay, let's see what we got. That might actually be kind of interesting. What color are we going to use? We're going to use the pink. Going to use the pink. My grandma called pink pink. And I was somewhere and said, do you have any pink? And nobody knew what I was talking about. That was so funny. Ain't got no pink. Okay. Roll that out. I won't be able to post this tonight if it turns out, because we ain't got no internet neither. No pink and no internet. So hopefully the internet will be back on tomorrow, but you never know. You just never know around here. All right, we're gonna roll that pink out on that paper. Turn our brayer over. Take a sheet. Lay it down. You have to move kind of quick with this second layer. None of these have been as vivid as I was hoping, but that's all right. We can work with what we got. Some days you get really nice pulls and some days you don't. Doesn't matter. Okay. That's a great big nothing. Look at that. A great big nothing. All right. That was like super disappointing. Super, super, super disappointing, because I thought it was going to be pretty. Okay, let's go with this purple. 1, 2, and that might be the problem. I might not add enough on there. Whoops. Okay. See some purple, a little bit of blue. All right. Let's take these leaves. What's got the bugs with them? A leaf here. It's a weird looking bug, whatever kind it is. A leaf here. I want some of those little seed dealios. I have no idea what kind of plants these are. I don't guess I was supposed to, huh? I'll put these little baby leaves right there. And let's see if we can fit some little dealios right there. All right, here's this pink paper. We're gonna lay that down and smush it out. And while we're smushing, we'll be deciding what color we want to use to pick this up. I think we're gonna go with the blue since the pink let us down so bad. Talk about disappointing. All right, let's see what we got. Maybe we got something. Maybe. I don't know. Not gonna hold my breath. All right, we'll let that dry for just a minute. Well, that's dry and we'll shake this blue up. I guess it's just as well that the power is, or the internet is out, because I'm tired. It's been a long day. I woke up about 4:30, third morning in a row. It's beginning to be a habit. So I got up, made some coffee, sat on the porch with the dog, got ready, went to my appointments, came home, ate lunch, broke my camera stand, went to Wally World, came home, and doing this. I'm gonna go ahead and get my paper ready. Have a piece of leaf trash on my roller now. Joy and delight. Okay, we're gonna stop with that. I'm gonna lay this down. And while I got my hand on that, I'm gonna brayer this off. And I just covered up all the pretty pink. I'm bad to not clean my brush off, or not my brush, my brayer off. All right, let's see what we got. Another mess. Okay. Well, that's disappointing, but the general doings of it are the same regardless of what you get in your pool. So I may sit here and doodle some on them and do a reel for you so you can kind of see what they end up being. Thank you for suffering through this with me. I'm Jennifer at Creative Art Spark. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you feel like it. If not, that's okay. Just comment and tell me I did a good job because I just kept trying. Alrighty, thanks so much. Bye-bye.